Hello, and welcome to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over the week 16 Hard Stratagem. Now, this one is fairly easy. It's not too difficult. Here are the battlefield conditions. You have enemy sighted. Range kills restore armor based on enemy threat level. Maintain distance. Melee damage is greatly reduced, but range damage is increased. And we have split up. When you maintain close proximity to squad members, armor and contested health restoration are disabled. Split up can fuck you up on times in termination, because at times you're kind of forced to stick together and stay close. So it can screw you over, but then again, it's not too difficult. It's fairly easy. Now, the classes I will not use are Assault and Bulwark, because again, your melee damage is greatly reduced. So you're just gonna go in handicap. You don't want that, right? I recommend Tactical, Vanguard, Sniper, and Heavy. And as for Tactical here, I'd recommend the Pyro Blaster, the Venting Speed one, just so we can take out the enemies quicker, or we can shoot longer, and when our weapons overheat, it decreases a lot quicker. And then we have the Melt Rifle. You can also go for the Melt Rifle, the ammo variant. And if you do want to use a bolt weapon, then you can go for the bolt carbine accuracy version. But I would recommend the Pyro Blaster, just so you can take out the enemies a lot quicker. It's good at taking out every enemy in the game. That's why I recommend the Pyro Blaster here. And yeah, and as for the secondary weapon, we go for the Heroic Heavy Bolt Pistol, just so we can take out the enemies that are calling for reinforcements a lot quicker. But then again, you can use any secondary one, but I recommend the Heavy Bolt Pistol here, the Heroic one. And then we go for the Chainsword here, the block version. I don't really recommend the Combat Knife. And yeah, and then as for the build here, we go for Radiating Impact, we go for Concentrated Fire, we go for Precise Calibration, and we go for Vital Data, just so we can take out the Terminus enemies a lot quicker. If you have like a Carnivex, the moment you want to use your Allspecs is when it stuns itself, it hits something and it's then stunned. You and your teammates can just spray the fuck out of the Carnivex and it will literally die instantly. And with your range damage being increased as well, you're gonna delete the boss a lot quicker. And we do go for Vital Data as well, just so we can get our scan, 50% of our scan back. And if you do have a Neurothrope, you want to use it when it's doing the bubble attack, or it does the scream attack, just pop it down and just keep shooting at it, right? You want to focus on the majority enemies at first, and then take out the Carnivex or Neurothrope once you take out all the Majoris and Minoris enemies. And then we do go for Secure Stockpile, because it's OP. And then we do go for Emperor's Vengeance as well, just so we can keep getting our ammo back. You can go for Relentless Pursuit after a gunstrike range damage increases by 25% for 10 seconds. This was 5 seconds before, so they did increase it. I recommend this one. However, you can also go for Heightened Vigor as well. But Relentless Pursuit is now better, so I'd recommend this one. And then we got Balanced Distribution. Your primary weapon deals 10% more damage, but your secondary weapon deals 10% less damage. And that's it. That's what I'd use for Tactical here. Tactical is very good for this operation. So yeah. Now Assault, we're going to skip over Assault, because Assault, don't want to use Assault. And then we have Vanguard. Now Vanguard, you can use any weapon really. You can go for the Instigate Bolt Carbine, the Heroic version. You can also go for the Bolt Carbine here. Doesn't really matter what you use. Oculus Bolt Carbine, however, I will not use the Oculus Bolt Carbine, because I feel like it's just a worse version of the Bolt Carbine and the Heroic Instigate Bolt Carbine, so I will not use it. However, if you still want to use it, you can. And then you have the Melt Rifle here. Melt Rifle was also very good. There we go. Now, as for the what's it called, the secondary here, you can go for the Heroic Bolt Pistol again. It's the same exact perks. You can also go for the Inferno Pistol if you like, just for taking out the Minoris enemies. I would go for the Rate of Fire version, because I'm not really a huge fan of the Ammo Reserve, because the Rate of Fire is less. And that's it. I wouldn't use the Neo Volkai, if you want to be completely honest, but every other secondary is pretty viable. I probably use the Inferno Pistol, but it's up to you. And then as for the melee weapon, anything but the Combat Knife is decent, because I feel like the Combat Knife is the worst melee in the game. You can also go for the Power Axe as well, the block version. And as for the perks here, now I would just recommend the Tactical Prowess build and the Zone of Impact, just because it's easy to use, it's simple, and it's just it's just easy as fuck, right? It's very beginner friendly. Just take out an enemy, get it into the execution phase and just bounce off of enemies and just keep doing it. You can also go for Unmatched Seal. A lot of people would recommend use Unmatched Seal. You can use that as well. Inner Fire is also pretty good as well. I wouldn't recommend using Melee Champion, because it just your melee damage is decreased. So yeah, Inner Fire or Unmatched Seal. And then we also go for Consecutive Execution here. And then we go for conviction, and then we also go for upper hand. That's just what I recommend using. You could also use like collateral damage. Diving kick deals 50% more damage, and additionally damages enemies on the way to the grapnel launcher target. There's also a pretty good perk. You can link that up with like tip of the spear or something like that. I don't know. But I recommend this build because it doesn't require any brain cells. Just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between enemies. It's just easy, simple. And that's it for Vanguard. And with sniper here, you could use the bolt sniper rifle, the heroic one. Though you do need to be mindful of your ammo, because again, they did nerf the, your versatile precision doesn't work on the heroic bolt sniper rifle. So yeah, this one is decent. Well, you can also use the heroic instigator bolt carbine. You can also use stalker bolt rifle. Bolt carbine is also pretty decent. Now, as for the one I would recommend, probably the bolt sniper rifle. I haven't tested it out, but you might be able to one-shot every enemy. Well, not every enemy, but like neurothropes, you can just delete zone thropes, Majoris enemies or whatever, and just take them out easily. So I'd probably recommend the bolt sniper rifle. And then for the secondary, probably like the heroic bolt pistol or the inferno pistol rated to 5 version. And then you have to take the combat knife. Now I'd recommend just going for the block, because with the power gladius, some people don't like the power gladius because they can't perfect dodge in one, and that's completely fine. So use the combat block knife or something like that. And I feel like with the power gladius, it's kind of more suited towards true solo and not like with players. So I'd recommend using the block combat knife. And as for the perks, we go for battle pattern of excellence, performing 3 consecutive executions, restore equipment charged by 1. Then we also go for persistence here. We go for target shot, especially if you're going for the bolt sniper rifle. We go for purification, just so we can keep gaining our contested health. However, you're not going to get it if you're with your teammates and you're losing health, so do be mindful of that. And then we go for squad renewal here, just so we can keep using purification and we can keep using target shot. And then iron grip is what we go for. If you're not going to use the bolt sniper rifle and you're going to go for like a bolt weapon, then go for dexterous hands. And then we go for high capacity. I don't know if it's actually worked on the bolt sniper rifle, so yeah, that's that. And then just go for melee mastery. Yeah, just use melee mastery. And that's it for sniper. And heavy is also a very good option here. You can use pretty much whatever the fuck you want, really. Heroic heavy bolter is pretty good. You can use that. I wouldn't use the heavy bolt rifle, stay far away from it. You can use the heavy plasma incinerator. You can use the heroic version. You can use any version you want, really. To be honest, I feel like when it comes to the heavy plasma incinerator, all versions are pretty good. Multi rifle is also a very good option here. And then we do go for the you can go for the pyroblast as well, the venting speed one. And then as for the secondary, I'd recommend like inferno pistol. Plasma pistol is also good, rate of 5 version. You can also go for the heroic heavy bolt pistol. Yeah, and just use whatever you like, really. Doesn't matter. And as for the perks here, we go for offensive capability, we go for brute force, and we go for obdurate bastion, we go for consecutive execution, we go for encompassing aegis. You can also go for additional supplies, but I just recommend going for encompassing aegis. And then we have overwhelming power. You have thermal boost. If you are going to use the what's it called, heroic heavy bolt pistol, heroic heavy bolter, just things like that, obviously go for thermal boost. However, if you do value health over damage and whatnot, then go for fortitude as well. Fortitude is also pretty good. If you're not going to use like the multi-melt and whatnot, then obviously go for fortitude. And then if you want more ammo with multi-melter, go for multi-kill. However, I'd recommend restoration. Killing 7 enemies in a rapid succession restores 1 armor segment's cooldown is 15 seconds. And that's it. That is it. Now, in terms of what I would recommend, obviously Bulwark Assault I would not use. Heavy is pretty damn good for this stratagem. We also have tactical as well. It's pretty damn good. And Vanguard is also good. Sniper is also good. I can't really recommend it because they're all pretty good. But in terms of the one I would put on top, heavy, tactical, definitely. I'd value more over Vanguard and Sniper. That's just my opinion. Again, this weekly hard stratagem. Damn it, I hate when I start, man. But yeah, it's not too difficult. So yeah. Let me know how you guys Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Let me know. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.